Hare Krishna. So today, Gaurav Raj Prabhu from Nevada will be taking the class on Bhagavatam, and I will give brief introduction of Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I beg your offices, blessings. I cannot speak very much, but whatever I know of Prabhuji, he's spent a lot of time in New Vrindavan. He did wonderful services there. Prabhuji is trained in yoga. He's done actually higher qualification like PhD in yoga. He started a yoga shala in New Vrindavan, and now he is moved to Las Vegas, where their new temple is coming up, and he is coordinating all that, and he'll be taking charge of that temple, doing very wonderful service. Prabhuji also is qualified as a Jyotish. He's done studies in Jyotish Shastra, and if you need to consult your horoscope or anything, you can contact Prabhuji. And he frequently holds classes on Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and he also visits different places. He's come many times to Bloomington, Illinois on his preaching missions with his family. He has a wonderful daughter. And so I will request Prabhuji to take over the call and give the class on Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Damodaranand Prabhu. Dandavat pranam to all the devotees present, and begging the blessings of the Supreme Lord and all his devotees. I beg for everyone's blessings to speak on this wonderful subject matter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we are reading from the third canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, 32nd chapter and the 16th verse. So does everybody repeat the verse or just I speak the verse?
Just Prabhu, you speak the verse.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Maybe you can do it twice and then yes.
Yeah, okay. Ye tva iha sakta manasah karmasu shraddhayanvitaah kurvanti apratisiddhani nityani apicha kratsnasah. Ye tva iha sakta manasah karmasu shraddhayanvitaah kurvanti apratisiddhani nityani apicha kratsnasah. So symptoms, synonyms. Ye, those who, to, but, iha, in this world, asakta, addicted, manasaha, whose minds, karmasu, through fruitive activities, shraddhaya, with faith, anvitaha, endowed, kurvanti, perform, apratisiddhani, with attachment to the result, nityani, prescribed duties, api, certainly, cha, and prasnasaha, repeatedly. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Persons who are too addicted to this material world execute their prescribed duties very nicely and with great faith. They daily perform all such prescribed duties with attachment to the fruitive result. Purport. In this and the following 6 verses, the Srimad Bhagavatam criticizes persons who are too materially attached. It is enjoined in the Vedic scriptures that those who are attached to the enjoyment of material facilities have to sacrifice and undergo certain ritualistic performances. They have to observe certain rules and regulations in their daily lives to be elevated to the heavenly planets. It is stated in this verse that such persons cannot be liberated at any time. Those who worship demigods with the consciousness that each and every demigod is a separate god cannot be elevated to the spiritual world. What to speak of the persons who are simply attached to the duties for the upliftment of their material condition? Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ye tva iha sakta manasaha karmasu shraddhayanvitaah kuruvanti apratisidhani nityani api krasnasaha. So it's very nicely explained here. Persons who are too addicted to this material world execute their prescribed duties very nicely and with great faith. They daily perform all such prescribed duties with attachment to the fruitive result. So in the Bhagavad Gita also, it is explained that those who want to enjoy material facility, also they undergo a lot of austerities. They execute their duties very nicely. We see even Hiranyakashipu, he did a lot of penance, very powerful penance, to that extent that his body was burning. Certain parts of his body had even disappeared. And the demigods were burning because of this. Similarly, we see Ravana, just to please Lord Shiva, he began cutting off his heads. But in the end, all these austerities are meant for material results in the end. So similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, it's given very beautifully that ultimately one has to reach the point of pure karma yoga, where one is executing his duty without attachment to the result. But in the beginning, just to get attached to the result, just to give you some preview, like in the beginning it's explained in the Bhagavad Gita, that in Bhaktivinoda Thakur also explains in his commentary very beautifully, that when the Vedas talk about Atma, Vedas talk about Paramatma, the Vedic literatures, I mean the later Upanishads and Bhagavatam, they talk about Atma, Paramatma, Krishna. So these are some things which you cannot see. These are some things which you cannot perceive. It's a matter of faith. It's a matter of keeping the faith. It should be this. So these are the symptoms. Just like a scientist does different kinds of experiments just to prove something. So, but the subject matter of the soul is unknown to science, is unknown to the materialist. So, an ordinary materialist, when you cannot directly take them to Vedanta, because to understand the subject matter of Vedanta, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktivinoda Thakur calls the yoga as buddhi, intelligence. So the karma yoga is when buddhi is applied to your karma, your duties, your prescribed duties, then it becomes karma yoga. Gradually it develops into jnana yoga. Then gradually it develops into dhyana yoga. and then the pure intelligence, bhakti, the activities of the soul come up. But before you reach the stage of karma yoga also, everybody has a tendency to enjoy. So for many, many births, the soul goes to the heavenly planets, he enjoys, he comes back, he goes, he enjoys, he comes back. To the point he will get frustrated, and then gradually he wants to get detached from this enjoyment. That we see many examples in the Bhagavatam, like Kuru Maharaj. So the Vedas in the beginning give you a result which you can perceive. So that is why Krishna also explains that the subject matter of the Vedas is the Traigunya Vishaya Veda, is about the three modes of material nature. And these three modes of material nature, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, so they deal with how to perform a sacrifice and obtain a result. And with this kind of sacrifices, one sees a perceivable result. And with that perceivable result, then he develops faith. So at least even for some material gain, he performs a prescribed duty. So that is the beginning. Just like even in the 7th chapter, it is explained in the Bhagavad Gita that there are 4 kinds of people who come. Artho, Arthati, Jignasu, Jnani. So, for some material result, one performs a prescribed duty that is given in the Veda. Oh, if I do like this, I will get this result. If I do Ekadashi Vrat, some people do Ekadashi Vrat. Okay, I want to lose some belly fat. Okay, let me do. That is one purpose. That is a material purpose. Next day he will check, oh, my belly is feeling better. But such people may not be serious about executing spiritual duties, like attentively chanting and hearing more, reading Bhagavatam on Ekadashi day. They might not be very serious, but they might be performing some material thing. Or if I do this, I will get some punya. Or if I by heart and chant the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, then I will get some material result. So everybody that is given in the Gita Mahatmya. So in the beginning stages, there is a desire for material results because the heart is not fully purified. The tendency to enjoy material subject matter is a lot. That is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur clearly explains that the heart, until and unless it's purified, when we start a devotion, all these desires begin to really, flood out, come out. It's very difficult. If devotion is not guided under a pure devotee, all our desires can really overtake us. So that is why it is not easy for somebody to purify and reach the stage of pure devotion. That is why this process sometimes can take many births. Even Rupa Goswami says in the Nectar of Devotion that to relish pure devotion with a purified heart, it's very difficult to do it within one birth. You may have to take another birth just to relish with a purified heart. Because until and unless we reach the stage of Nishtha, Anartha Nivritti is over and you reach the stage of Nishtha. That is the most difficult stage. We have so many bad qualities because of our attachment to material results. It's very, very subtle. It's very, very subtle. We have so much attachment to material results. So that is why somebody may come to Krishna, Artho, Arthati, Jijnasu, Jnani. But even then, Artho, he is looking for economic development or some distress, getting out from the distress. Artharthi, he wants some benefit. Jijnasu, he is eager. And until and unless he knows fully, he will not execute devotion. But somehow or the other, if they execute enough devotion and get enough sukruti, then they have a chance of becoming jnani. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate. So, this intelligence, Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his purport of the Bhagavad Gita, he explains a powerful purport in which this particular attachment is explained. Vyavasayatmika buddhir ekeha kuru nandana bahushaka hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. Now in this verse, he says, pure intelligence means being fixed in hearing and chanting. Pure intelligence means to continuously hear and chant. That's it. But right now, we are not in that condition to simply sit down and hear and chant. We cannot. That is primary devotional service. That is primary. So we are doing a mix. And the secondary, he says, is where we are working and working for fruitive results. We all work. We all have to work. It's not that we don't have to work. Lord Chaitanya's most disciples were also grahasthas. But pure karma yoga, to reach the stage of pure karma yoga, we are all aspiring to reach that stage where all our activities, even when we are executing our prescribed duties, there is no tinge of desire for material sense enjoyment, other than one needs a little bit of sense satisfaction to keep oneself happy. But a gratification, engaging in gross pleasures, or that by which the mind gets bewildered. So we do not want that. So the primary focus is the Shravanam, Kirtanam and Smaranam. And the secondary, in the devotional, he says is execution of prescribed duties. So that is why in the Bhagavad Gita also, we will find in the 18th chapter that these two verses come one after the other, because one cannot give a prescribed duty. When Arjuna asks, you are telling me buddhi, 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 atma, atma, paramatma, all this, and then you are telling me fight. I don't understand this. If my primary occupation is to hear and chant, then why should I kill? So that is the question. Kim karmani gore ma niyojayasi keshava. So Krishna explains that it's not possible to reach the stage of pure hearing and chanting without coming to a stage of a purified heart. Arjuna is a Kshatriya. We all have our nature. And that was the core point of this verse that I wanted to elaborate upon. We all have our nature. We have a nature like we are born in South India, we are born in Brahmin family, or we are born in North India, we are born in some Kshatriya family or whatever. We are born in a particular family, or we are born in a particular situation. Now we have developed a certain character. We have developed a certain mentality because of all our previous karma. Now, until and unless you have purified yourself completely and really fixed yourself with a purified heart, one is able to see, really perceive that I am Atma. Actually, I am Atma. I am really on the platform of the Atma. I mean, I am really identifying, not that I grossly, but very clearly, I am identifying with the soul and trying to execute devotional service. Until and unless one reaches that stage of clear intelligence, because intelligence means to always be fixed on the concept of the soul. That is intelligence. So, until and unless we are situated in the platform of pure intelligence, where we are fixed in the concept of the soul, the concept of the body, identification with the body, the troubles of the body, the troubles of everything associated with this body, will continue to haunt, and we will be naturally attracted to act in a certain way. So, that is why Krishna tells Arjuna, you cannot reach the platform of getting liberated and just doing hearing and chanting. However, you can reach that stage of hearing and chanting if you execute your prescribed duties unattached to the result. That is because you have to act according to your nature. You cannot stop it. You cannot stop it. You have to perform your prescribed duty. You cannot stop it. That's your nature. You cannot sit and chant 64 rounds. Like, until and unless your heart is purified. There was an incident when Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, he went back to the spiritual world. His body was lying there. And I guess that was in Mayapur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur went there to then give a decent burial to the body of Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj. And a lot of these Babajis around Mayapur and all these, people, they came and they said, oh, he's a Babaji, he should go to our ashram. His body should come to our ashram, because people knew he was a great person. Wherever his samadhi would be, it will be a great place of pilgrimage. Money will come, people will come, they will donate. Our ashram will become famous. We will get benefit if Gaur Kishore Das Babaji's body is buried here. So, everybody was fighting for his body. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, of all these Babajis, he said with great conviction, he said, anyone is free to take the body of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, provided he has not associated with a woman for the last 1 month, he said. Half of them stepped back. Then he said, okay, 15 days. So gradually, as he saw, he said, last 3 days. So they were so addicted, although they were Babajis. Nobody came forward in the end, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was such a purified soul. His words had so much power. Nobody could come forward and claim the body afterwards. Because if one does not follow proper Vidhi Bhakti, and does not purify the heart, and gives up his prescribed duty, without purifying the heart, then his contamination is still there. Now he is trying to do some other duty, and because of that, like Krishna told Arjuna, you cannot go and become a Babaji. Practically Krishna is telling Arjuna, you cannot go and become a sannyasi. Your nature is to fight. Out of depression you may do. Like that there are many people. When I was in college, one day one person who was studying MBBS, he came to our Bhakti Center in Manipal Engineering College. He came and he said, because the Kasturba Medical College was nearby, he saw dead bodies, this, that. He said, abhi life mein kya reh gaya hai, you know. So he said, there is no use for me to live in this world and this and that. 2 days he was like that. Third day he was back at his work. Arey, that's okay, this is life. Because that is called as Samshana Vairagya, Falgu Vairagya. So, purification of the heart, without the purification of the heart, one cannot take up some other duty. Just like we see so many scandals of so many Swamis in India, Asharam Bapu, then we see this in South India, this Nityananda, all caught on tape. Why? Because if one has not taken to the process of purification of the heart in a proper way, and the desire for enjoyment is still there, but one takes up something else, then all his, whatever he's doing is geared up towards that enjoyment. So, here, one performs some prescribed duty, worshipping some demigod, expecting some result, but ultimately the heart is impurified. So such an attitude is criticized. Although in the beginning, just like in ISKCON, when somebody, in the beginning when people come, we want, it's okay, they come, they eat as much as they want, like we try to pamper them and everything. But after some time, after the person is becoming serious, we want them to become disciplined. Because you cannot keep what you were in your beginning stages, continue with that kind of mindset. No, then you have to get serious, then you have to get disciplined. And then you have to execute your bhakti in a very systematic way for a long period of time, till the point that it becomes natural. So, strictly following systematically the path of Vaidhi Bhakti. Therefore, Varanashrama, in the 18th chapter, as I was saying, the Varanashrama, Krishna first mentions the Varanashrama, and then Krishna mentions the Manmana Bhava Madbhakta. Why? Because if one executes his prescribed duty without the factor of karma, without the factor of enjoyment, then selfless karma yoga, as explained to Arjuna, and as Arjuna executes in the Bhagavad Gita, that is the karma yoga, in full consciousness of Krishna, yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadasi yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, kurushva madarpanam. So he is doing everything with full consciousness of Krishna, following Krishna's orders. So that is remembrance of Krishna. So we are remembering his instructions, and by following those instructions you are actually following Krishna. So similarly, prescribed duties are mentioned in the Vedas. in the beginning to attract, just like a new bhakta, we pamper, the Vedas also pamper a little bit to attract somebody and give them different options of material enjoyment. But as you grow higher, then this same enjoying mentality is criticized. And then when it comes to the Upanishads, to understand that, one has to completely be under the shelter of a guru. Because Upanishad means to sit next to. One has to sit next to a guru. So, the process of devotion is definitely perfect, but one has to execute this devotion under the shelter of a pure devotee in a systematic manner. So, there is the 49th verse in the 65th, in the 18th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna explains, Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spraha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sannyasena adhigacchati. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. So basically, the point is, one cannot reach the stage of pure bhakti, of simply hearing and chanting, because we have to maintain this body. We have to take care, and even if we overcome, just like the Goswamis, you overcome this. And just like Janak Maharaj can be a good example for proper grahasthas. So just like Janak Maharaj, he was a liberated soul. Yet he performed his prescribed duties as an example for others. Because he was a Kshatriya. And that is what is needed. For a Kshatriya, if he becomes liberated and gives up his duty, then people will follow a wrong example. So that is why Lord Ram, when he was questioned about his wife, he did not hesitate to give up his wife, because to be an example is more important. So, in any case, to reach the stage of sannyasa, where one can sit and execute pure devotional, simply hearing and chanting, is also very difficult in this age. So that is why one has to be on the platform. One has to be on the platform of karma sannyasa yoga. Means Bhaktivinoda Thakur understood that most of the people today in this Kali Yuga will be grahasthas. And he said grahastha ashrama is the most practical ashram in this Kali Yuga. Because he did not want Phalgu renunciation. Vaishnavism, after Lord Chaitanya left, there were so many apasampradayas. And they would do horrible things. Horrible things. They would dress up like Sakhis. They would do imitate Krishna Leela, dancing of the gopis and all that. And in the evening they would smoke and drink. And they would collect money just to maintain themselves. That kind of lifestyle, very dirty. So the name of Vaishnavism was very, very bad. Anybody who was seen with a tilak, people like Swami Vivekananda, they would make fun of the Vaishnavas, so-called Vaishnavas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw all this when he started preaching, and he wanted to revive the pure practice of bhakti. He started this Bhakti Vriksha as we are doing now, small Namahatta groups where people would sit down. They would, and these Apasampradaya also, they would also chant Hare Krishna. But in the end, the result is not bhakti but bhukti, material enjoyment. They wanted to, in the name of chanting Hare Krishna, they wanted to have a free life. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, continue to chant Hare Krishna, but he wanted to purify their attitude. That this Nama, the best results of chanting the holy name can be got when one is sense-controlled. Because in the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter also, where the summary is given, Krishna explains soul, Krishna explains prescribed duty. Then after explaining prescribed duty, then all of a sudden he goes to sense control, and that's where he ends. The control of sense is control of the mind. So ultimately all these prescribed duties, one has to act. One cannot be inactive. One has to act. But to act in a manner which is pleasing to the Lord, to the Guru and the Lord. Because till the stage of Adho Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. So Sadhu Sangha is there. After Sadhu Sangha, Anartha Nivritti. So this Anartha Nivritti should be executed with the association of sadhus. Very clearly. So when Anartha Nivritti, Artha Pravritti is done, and when you come to the stage of Nishtha, then gradually the Lord becomes, when Krishna doesn't enter the heart of such a person until and unless it's completely purified. We see in Krishna Leela that in Devaki's womb, first Balaram came. And he said he prepared the womb for Krishna to come. Then he was transferred to Rohini's womb. And then Krishna came into that womb. But before that, the 6 children who died were killed. It was said that they represented Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsara. They were representing the 6 anarthas. So before Krishna enters the womb, the 6 anarthas must go. One must humbly submit to a Guru. And Guru, Balaram represents Guru. So the whole process you see, the beautiful process, Adho Shraddha, Tata Sadhu Sangha. And with this Sadhu Sangha, then is Anartha Nivritti. So, in the association of devotees, even before you find a Diksha Guru, first you have to follow 4 regulative principles. And then you have to chant 16 rounds. Then you have to become very serious. Right? So as you execute that process and you continue, Gradually, depending on how long it takes, you reach the stage of Nishtha. So you reach the stage of Nishtha. When you reach the stage of Nishtha, then you are in a position to execute the orders of the spiritual master. And if you see in Krishna Lila also, there are 3 demons who are killed by Balaram. So they represent lust, disobedience to Guru. So this lust, so why does Balaram kill them? Because Balaram represents Guru Tattva. Pralambasura, Vivida, and there is one more. So this basically, this lust and disobedience to the Lord, they can be rectified by worshipping Sri Guru. But we have to make ourselves qualified. So here it is left to the devotee. Till the anartha nivritti stage, till you reach the stage of Nishtha, it is left to the, you have to struggle here. Krishna is waiting for you to struggle. Till that stage, Krishna doesn't become directly involved. He sends. It's like when Dhruva Maharaj was eagerly seeking the Lord, but he had anger against his father, he had this, he had that, so many things in his heart. Although Lord Vishnu was inspired, but he did not go there directly. He sent Narada as the Guru. So the Guru went and taught the process of yoga, and then Dhruva Maharaj executed that process. And by executing that process, Dhruva Maharaj's heart was purified, and with that purified heart only, then when Lord appeared, he could actually see the Lord, behold the Lord. Only when you have a purified vision, when you have a purified heart, only then the Lord will come and reside there. And then, of course, as a liberated soul, later on, Dhruva Maharaj ruled the kingdom. He was a king. Although he said, I do not want anything, Dhruva Maharaj said. But the Lord said, no, take it. And not only did he give his kingdom back, but he also gave him an eternal position in the Dhruva Nakshatra. Right? So that is the position of Dhruva. So do you understand this point very clearly, very beautifully explained here in this whole explanation by in the Bhagavatam, that until the devotee reaches the stage where he is completely purified in heart, till then the Lord guides. But he doesn't personally become available. Like we see, Srila Prabhupada, when he translated the 5th canto, which was very, very difficult to translate, and so many things were there, the moon landing, Srila Prabhupada was very, very convinced they cannot land on the moon. It was not easy. He is completely convinced. And Srila Prabhupada says, because I was right now working more on 5th canto and so many things. And Srila Prabhupada says that, saying, oh, it was so difficult to understand. Prabhupada says, and he says that Krishna helped me. So, of course, for a pure devotee, the Lord personally reciprocates. Lord personally deals with. So, the spiritual master is the servitor Godhead and the Supreme Lord, of course, is the Supreme controller. But the spiritual master guides the devotee towards his eternal relationship with the Lord. But even in the spiritual world, he continues his guidance with so many spiritual masters on how to serve Krishna in different ways, even in the spiritual world. So that is why our position is that of a servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. If you imagine yourself in Goloka, with all the gopis and wonderful gopas, and they are all serving Krishna in different ways, we are only a small speck trying to serve, assisting these gopis or even their assistants, and trying in a small little way. That is our real position. Then of course it's up to Krishna, whatever position he wants you to give. But the humbler we become, the higher the position is, the more you are glorified. So, the consciousness that we develop here it's not where you are, it's how conscious you are. Srila Prabhupada said, I am in LA. Do you think I am in LA? In Los Angeles he was speaking. Do you think I am in LA? No, I am in Goloka Vrindavana. I am not in LA. So similarly, we can all develop a consciousness, Krishna consciousness, right where you are. You can develop Krishna consciousness right where you are. And this consciousness has to be developed by following a proper process. So the execution of prescribed duty is a must, like Arjuna did. Arjuna was a grihastha. He is the perfect example. By doing the prescribed duty, continuously remembering Krishna and following his orders, one achieves perfection. So similarly, if we perform our prescribed duties without just thinking, oh, one day I will give everything up, I will become sannyasi. No, right within whatever you are doing, if we execute it with a spirit of giving up material sense gratification and fully attached to the service of the Lord. So in whatever position you are in, you can be fully attached to the service of the Lord. Within your given position, whichever place you are, no matter how you are, wherever you are economically or whatever you are doing. But giving up that sense of because when you give up material enjoyment, desire for material enjoyment, then gradually everything else will also go away. Ego, so many different things. Like Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhadaha Agama Payina Tutyas Sansitik Sasodharata. So there are three different types of pain that we experience in the body. Three different types of pain that we experience. Pains of the body, pains of the mind, pains of the ego. Pains of the body, depending on the body, difficult to bear. Pain of the mind, very difficult to bear also. But pain when somebody hurts your ego is most difficult. So that's why Krishna says, Sense enjoyment means that is because of our ego. Ego means identification that I am this body. But at least if one is situated in intelligence, understanding I am not this body, is fixed in it, and that is his real ego. I am the soul. But I have this body, I am not able to perceive the soul yet. I have not yet reached that platform. Hence I am entangled right now. So I have to carefully disentangle myself. Carefully disentangle. One by one. How? By executing prescribed duty, by hearing and chanting, and by executing, because most of our hearing and chanting is what? 2-3 hours a day, but rest of 21 hours is our bodily maintenance, sleep, and our prescribed duties. By executing all of that in a disciplined way, by executing all of that in a detached way, then we can definitely come to the point of pure consciousness, gradually unentangling. For God helps those who help themselves. So if we are sincere in our endeavor, somehow, like Krishna says, that those who are very serious, Tesham sadata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadhami buddhi yogam tam. Whom does he give intelligence? Tesham sadata yuktanam. One who is yukta, one who is acting properly, bhajatam priti purvakam. And you are chanting with love. Arey, I have to chant this round, horrible. Arey, I have to do this chanting. Arey, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I will be entangled in karma. I will suffer. All this stuff. So if we are doing it, we are not doing it right. If we are not doing bhajatam priti purvakam, if we are not doing tesham satata yuktanam, then Krishna will not give buddhi. Only if you do those two, dadami, then Krishna says, dadami buddhi yogam tam tena mam prayamti. So Krishna has to give us that intelligence from within. He is within us. He is right there, observing everything. So he is observing what you do, every action of your mind. So, as long as we ultimately desire sense enjoyment, the goal of bhakti will remain aloof. So that is why Kapila Deva in this chapter, especially this and the next few verses, he is explaining how he is criticizing. Srila Prabhupada explains that he is criticizing the desire for material enjoyment, and this desire for material enjoyment can vanquish the spirit soul, just like we read. Last night I was just seeing the news. News means this website. You see the latest, and all of a sudden you see there was a fire in a pub in Mumbai, and so many people died. They went for some birthday party, and that's it. Their life is finished. At the age of 29, gone. One human life finished. Now, when will they get another human body? When will they come back? We don't know. Again, millions of births. Every day, lakhs of people die, lakhs of people are born. Human life is very rare. So, it behooves us even more to take this process seriously, and either by hearing the experience of others, or with our own experience. We should understand that this world is temporary, and there is no ultimate end to this enjoyment. Like Puru Maharaj says in the Bhagavatam, he enjoys for long this material enjoyment with women. But then he says, even at this old age, the body is incapable of enjoying. But the desire still remains. It burns like fire until and unless you forcibly give it up and be, Krishna says, deliberate spiritual intelligence, it will not go away. So that is why this world is called as a great forest. It's a forest where you are stuck. And that is why this. And then the soul is like caught in a forest fire. Samsara Dava. So the only hope is the mercy on Guru and Krishna. So whatever happens, this human life is very valuable. So systematically if we follow our prescribed duty, giving up material enjoyment and developing a taste for hearing and chanting in the association of sadhus and come to the stage of nishtha, then we after purifying our anarthas, then we can be purified and be fixed in bhakti, and that should be our goal. Hare Krishna. So I will stop here, and any questions or comments, please, you're welcome.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, thank you very much for this wonderful lecture, for so many things, telling us about the regimented Vedic Bhakti leading to the spontaneous Raganaga Bhakti, to so many things, up Sampradaya, how they came and contaminated the movement, and then how Bhaktivinoda Thakur put it on course again. It's all lessons for us. And also, telling us to be sincere and many other instructions. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you for your time, and wish to see you more often on this forum. Hare Krishna.
Sure, thank you very much. The speaker also gets very purified by contemplating this subject matter. So preparation of class is also a big purification.
Yes, that is true. It's a two-way process.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nicely you have explained. So I have to practice. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Danat Pranam. Thank you so much, Prabhu. It's a very, very wonderful class. Prabhuji, I have one question. That is, what is the difference between Bhajana Kriya and Anartha Nivritti, Prabhu?
See, Anartha Nivritti means we have some bad habits from our previous lives and this life. Just like it could be something very simple. Like if you read Bhagavatam, 28, 5th canto, 28th chapter, description of hellish planets. And there it says there is a hell for people. When guests come to your house and you are feeding them, if you stare at their food and say, my God, how much is he eating? Like something like that. Even if you think that way, how long will this guest stay in my house? And Kali Yuga, that is more. Oh, who came? We live in gated communities. So because of that, our mind is very, very closed because of these present social norms. We develop so many bad habits. And we are not following things like, for example, right now in Vegas, we are having just the center, and we don't have facility to cook in the center. The temple is coming up. There's a lot of work going on. It's huge. But at the same time, people have to cook, right? Now people are used to cooking previous day because everybody in the city today works. So I've seen people who cook once a week. and then you offer it to Krishna or something. How can you offer same food for 7 days? Or you eat that same food for 7 days. So we develop so many things, little things. These are not gross. But then watching television, getting addicted to smartphones, addicted to some kind of using some kind of language or certain points in our character. So they are all anarthas. Anartha means that which do not have any spiritual meaning. They are all a part of your material personality. So giving up your material qualities, for example, there was a recent lecture by Radheshyam Prabhu. You say tit for tat or tolerate that. You can see it on YouTube. It's really wonderful. Where he explains, by nature, when somebody hurts you, somebody attacks you, we are inclined to attack that person. We will retaliate. We will see how best we can retaliate to that person. So that is our nature. But when one becomes a devotee, the topic was tit for tat or tolerate that. But when you tolerate, so Mahabharata talks about, says, if you can tolerate the worst thing happening in your life, somebody is criticizing you, putting you down, taking away everything from you, and is really, if you can tolerate that, then no doubt you will achieve something very, very higher. So, just like it says also in the Mahabharata, sometimes we see, oh, he's my competitor, he's my enemy, he's my friend, he's my enemy, he's my this, he's my that. So the mind, sees in that way. But then you realize that actually nobody is your enemy or friend. It's your own mind. It's your own outlook. So the whole universe is within you. But we are very external. We see good and bad in everywhere. Just like Duryodhana saw the whole world as bad. But Yudhishthira saw the whole world as good. So where did it lie? Within themselves. So because Duryodhana was bad, he saw the whole world as bad. And when Yudhishthira saw the world, because he was good, he saw the whole world as good. So anartha nivritti means we have so many conceptions and misconceptions, subtle, so many habits, good and bad, material. All that needs to be purified. We need to develop spiritual habits. Just like simple things in Hari Bhakti Vilas, it says, as soon as you wake up, brush your teeth, then pass stool. So many things are given, systematic. So we have some people take bath and then brush. Simple thing, but you should not brush after taking bath. You should brush, and every time you brush, you have to take bath. Every time you go to the restroom, toilet, you have to take bath. So these are all clean habits. So there are habits pertaining to the body. So anartha nivritti means purifying bad habits. But also artha pravritti means developing good habits. So this is a long process which takes as long as you want it to take. So as long as we are not serious about cultivating good habits, or we do not take it very seriously, this anartha nivritti stage is going to take a long time. So this is the meaning of anartha nivritti, because after anartha nivritti then there is nishtha. Nishtha means you are fixed. Fixed means Krishna has to be given fresh food. Krishna's temple needs to be clean. I need to appear before Krishna with nice clothes, gopi chandan and tilak. Because Mangalarti means not that the Lord is seeing, that I am seeing the Lord. The Lord is seeing me. So you are fixed every day. I need to chant my rounds. I need to read Bhagavatam. Whatever happens, just like Gaur Govinda Maharaj, every morning he used to translate Prabhupada books into Odia for 6 hours. And then he used to eat. Means daily I have to do this much. You are fixed. So until and unless our heart is not purified from all material desires, bad habits, misconceptions, what is the benefit? Why should I do this chanting? Why should I read this? Why should I do that? All these doubts, So they are all anarthas. When there is artha, artha means meaningful spiritual knowledge, anartha will go away. And then you are firmly situated in bhakti. Nobody can shake you. No matter what happens, you are very clear. I have to chant my rounds. So today I woke up late. Okay, no time to chant, forget chanting. Such things will not happen when you are in Nishtha. When you are in Nishtha, oh my God, I woke up late. Whatever it is, I have to finish my round. So let me work my schedule around that. Something like that. So it's a gross, it's a subtle thing, but to be fixed in Krishna consciousness, that is Nishtha. For that, we have to give up all our old, whatever we have cultivated through millions of lives and develop good habits that will please Guru and Krishna. To please Guru, just like Srila Prabhupada wanted devotees to dress in dhoti kurta, have nice tilak, keep themselves shaved nice, whatever. So, so this is the meaning. And to the degree we are contaminated, to that degree we have to do some kind of tapasya and seriously execute them and purify ourselves and cultivate good habits. All right, Madhuri?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Yeah, it's very clear. Prabhuji, I have another question also. I heard you read some astrology also. Not I'm telling to tell astrology, but I want to know about when the devotee practice Krishna consciousness, how astrology means, even though if they are not pure devotee, how much that astrology will affect in their life. That is why my question, Prabhu.
Astrology will definitely affect you. In the sense, until and unless you raise to the platform of pure devotion where you are seeing Krishna face to face, to that degree that you are not Krishna conscious. See, the thing is, the material results of astrology, they will continue to affect you to a certain degree. But as the more and more you become Krishna conscious, your karma, Krishna, what he does, Krishna arranges for some devotee to help you out in one way or the other. So, the more you are Krishna conscious, the more you will be freed from your karmas. So, once you reach the platform of pure devotion, yes. But to reach that platform is next to, in one sense, impossible. For example, I'll just give you a small material example, just like that. I mean, it's not criticizing, but for example, once Bhakti Vidyapura Maharaj was going with a devotee and they went to an ice cream shop. So, and one devotee got one ice cream and he ate it. Now, Bhakti Vidyapura Maharaj is American, big body. So he said, how many ice creams do you have? So he had about 30 boxes. So he ate like 15, 20. So that is the body that you have, the karma that you have, that has come along with that. It's very difficult to change it. And even if you come to the platform of pure devotion, then certain karma Krishna keeps, certain traits of personality. Just like Prabhupada, he is a pure devotee, he could speak to, he could relate to anybody in this world. I mean, it's not easy for anybody to, just because he was Krishna conscious, but yet he had some Bengali traits, right? So certain aspects of our karma will remain with us even in the liberated stage, because we have a certain body, certain mentality, certain taste for food and this and that. But in general, as you purely execute the process of bhakti, to that degree, your karma is burnt, as explained by Rupa Goswami. The seeds of the karma are also burnt. And in the Yoga Sutras and in the Bhagavatam, it is explained, Heyam Dukkham Anagatam. By performing auspicious devotional service in a proper way, one for future, future suffering is avoided. That's the main thing. The future suffering is avoided. So, to the extent you are executing pure devotional service, you need not worry about astrology. But there are certain things that we have to do, just like marriage and different aspects, especially marriage, children. These are all material things. This says, although it is spiritual, but simply just going ahead and marrying these things, it has a material tone. So one should be, it is a tool. Astrology is a Vedic tool to help us, streamline our karma, know it, set it up and focus in such a way that we get the best out of it, so that we can serve Krishna nicely, if you look at it properly. I do a lot of matchmaking, because if you see within even our ISKCON devotee community, there is a high divorce rate also, especially among Westerners. So if we properly do astrology and all that, I mean Vedic astrology properly, through understanding, like it says, all the 9 planets in the astrology, their Lord is one avatar of Krishna. For example, Mars is Narsimha, Mercury is Buddha, Surya, Krishna is Surya, so Rama is Suryavamshi. So the Lord of Surya is Rama. So by worshipping the Dashavatara every day, by remembering every morning, it is said one is purified of all effects of the Navagrahas. So there is a spiritual overtone to it. And I'll give you one secret. If you read Bhagavatam every day, no astrology will affect you. But the problem is most Grahasthas in ISKCON, they do not read Bhagavatam every day, seriously. At least 48 minutes to 1 hour, if you do not read. If you read that, if you make Bhagavatam your life and soul, to that degree your mind is purified, no karma will affect you. So those who are serious about Bhagavatam, effect of karma is less, but those who are not serious about Bhagavatam, the effect of karma is more. All right?
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Means when if devotees are serious in Krishna consciousness, Krishna also can interfere in their life. Yes, I mean how their karma is put in their life.
So that is why the reading of Bhagavatam, see Bhagavatam, as you become serious about Bhagavatam, reading, understanding, hearing Bhagavatam, that purifies you, but also along with that, you are chanting. See, it is the purification of your desire, right? So the more we read Bhagavatam from proper devotees, and the more we get purified, the more Krishna will purify our karma.
Prabhu, just like somebody's astrologic chart, it says, means if you are means that age, maybe you may die, or you may have a big health problem. In that case, I'm asking, it will after coming Krishna consciousness, it will same thing happen, or may it will go away? That is my question actually.
See, the thing is, one thing we have to understand is that certain things Krishna protects your devotion, basically. So as long as we have material attachment, we have fear. Oh, if this goes wrong, this goes wrong, this goes wrong. And Krishna protects you for the sake of executing devotion. So the answer of that would be, if we are serious, if we develop a serious desire for executing devotion, then Krishna will guide us in such a way that although these things may happen, but ultimately you will achieve the state of pure devotion. One can use any situation, so that is intelligence. So these things may happen, but it's up to Krishna. Just like in New Vrindavan, I saw one devotee called Jai Murari Prabhu. He cannot walk, he is always on wheelchair, but he's always glorifying Krishna. He doesn't say, oh, Krishna made me disabled, Krishna made me this, Krishna made me that. No. So, elevating our consciousness, a devotee understands that Krishna will definitely minimize the result or arrange the result in such a way that he comes to the platform of pure devotion. That should be our faith. We are not magical healing, Of course, Krishna did healing for Arjuna. When every night, when Arjuna was wounded in the war, Krishna spread his hands on Arjuna, and as soon as he touched the wound, Arjuna's wound, the wound got healed. So if Krishna wants, Krishna can heal you. Just like I saw one devotee yesterday on Facebook, Kurma Prabhu was sharing. He said, this devotee Venu Prabhu, Prabhupada disciple, he got liver cancer. And he has just a few weeks to live. And his wife was saying, he is so happy. He is not at all fearful. Because he is so happy that all his life he was doing pure karma yoga. But now Krishna, this is one way of purifying. If you see disease, disease or something like that, these are all, if we take it as purification, then it will not affect us. Even great Maharajas also in ISKCON, like many big Maharajas, they went through very serious health crisis and everything. But because of their staunch faith in Krishna, they overcame. So, even for example, Radhanath Maharaj, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, he was telling one temple president in Denver, he executed so much austerities when he was especially in New Vrindavan, when he was young. He never used to sleep for days. He is pure devotee, but physically, because of all that austerities, the body is also, getting affected. So he said it's bodily, it's affecting. So that is why the question here is elevating our consciousness. And then Krishna will, like Prabhupada said, according to astrology or according to actual thing, I had 2 heart attacks, I should have died. But Krishna wanted me to live like that. So if you understand, to the extent you are serious about bhakti, Krishna will arrange things in such a way that your bhakti is protected. So if we value bhakti, for example, we value health, wealth, but if you value bhakti more than anything, then Krishna will arrange everything in such a way that everything becomes a purificatory point, and ultimately, just like Ajamila, he was supposed to die, right? But he chanted Narayana. So what did the Vishnudutas do? Vishnudutas gave him 20 years of extra life and took him to Haridwar so that he can execute bhakti, and 20 years later they came back in Vaikuntha Viman and took him because he had chanted Namabhas. He did not chant pure Nam. So definitely when you execute devotion, Krishna does change your devotional, your karma. Definitely he changes. But to what degree and how he changes, no, that depends on the degree of your surrender, and secondly, the desire of the Lord. and we should fearlessly execute devotion and leave the rest to Krishna and the results to him, and then we will become happy.
That's very clear, Prabhu. Thank you so much for all the answers, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So, any other comments, questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Krishna.
Very, very nice, wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. You came very last minute.
Yeah. It was. It's like 4:20 a.m. Pacific time. So today I was very fortunate. I woke up at 2. Then I was thinking, okay, let me not sleep because I have to give class. So I was simply chanting, and I almost finished my rounds, means just my minimum finishing. So I was very happy. I took that opportunity. Usually I keep alarm for like 4:30. So today I kept it at 4. But somehow I was like worried. Oh, will I wake up today? So somehow I ended up waking up at 2. But it is. I feel this discussing this very nice subject matter so early in the morning is very, very beneficial. So I also feel very happy and purified after discussing this subject matter. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Can I have a small one question? Do you have time?
Sure, Mataji.
Okay. So you describe about this nishtha, in a fixed up position. So by the bhajana kriya, can we come to the nishtha platform?
Sadhu Sangha.
Sadhu Sangha.
First is
Sadhu
Sangha. Sadhu Sangha. Then Bhajana Kriya. See, Bhajana Kriya, the thing is, Bhajana Kriya means basically our hearing and chanting. And that is in the association of devotees.
Yes.
And if you associate with those who are purified, Uttamadhikaris, Madhyamadhikaris, to the extent they are purified, they will advise you in that way.
Okay.
To the extent their heart is purified, they will share their realization, and that just like during Prabhupada's time, all these hippies, within 1 or 2 years they became sannyasis. No qualification. But just because they associated with Prabhupada, it became very fast purification.
Yes.
So that's what Prabhupada says. It's only when you associate with pure devotee, you can bypass every other process and straight come to the execution of devotion. But in the subtle form, anartha will be there, but as you keep on serving Guru, that anartha will go away.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay.
So Prabhuji, we can conclude. Thank you very much. Vancha kalparuvasya kripasinduvacha pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, and let me know anytime you need, just by